bin Abdullah the same question, and he replied, he should not go near her till he has finished the going, tawaf, between As-Safa and Al-Marwa. Volume 3, Book 27, Number 21, narrated by Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. I came to the Prophet at Al-Batha while his camel was kneeling down, and he asked me, "Have you intended to perform the Hajj?" I replied in the affirmative. He asked me, "With what intention have you assumed Ihram?" I replied, "I have assumed Ihram with the same intention as that of the Prophet." He said, "You have done well. Perform the Tawaf of the Kaaba and the Sa'i between As-Safa and Al-Marwa, and then finish the Ihram." So I performed the Tawaf around the Kaaba and the Sa'i between As-Safa and Al-Marwa, and then went to a woman of the tribe of Qais who cleaned my head from lice. Later I assumed the Ihram for Hajj. I used to give the verdict of doing the same till the Caliphate of Umar, who said, "If you follow the Holy Book, then it orders you to remain in the state of Ihram till you finish from Hajj. If you follow the Prophet, then he did not finish his Ihram till the Hadi, sacrifice, had reached its place of slaughtering." Hajj al-Quran. Volume 3, Book 27, Number 22, narrated by Al-Aswad Abdullah, the slave of Asma bint Abu Bakr, told me that he used to hear Asma, whenever she passed by Al-Hajjun, saying, "May Allah bless his apostle Muhammad." Once we dismounted here with him, and at that time we were traveling with light luggage. We had a few riding animals and a little food ration. I, my sister, Aisha, Azubair, and such persons performed Umrah, and when we had passed our hands over the Kaaba, that is performed Tawaf round the Kaaba and between As-Safa and Al-Marwa, we finished our Ihram. Later on we assumed Ihram for Hajj the same evening. Volume 3, Book 27, Number 23, narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. Whenever Allah's apostle returned from a Ghazwa, Hajj, or Umrah, he used to say Takbir thrice at every elevation of the ground, and then would say, "None has the right to be worshipped but Allah. He is one and has no partner. All the kingdoms is for him, and all the praises are for him, and he is omnipotent. We are returning with repentance, worshipping, prostrating, and praising our Lord. He has kept up his promise and made his slave victorious, and he alone defeated all the clans of non-believers." Volume 3, Book 27, Number 24, narrated by Ibn Abbas. When the Prophet arrived at Mecca, some boys of the tribe of Bani Abdul Muttalib went to receive him, and the Prophet made one of them ride in front of him and the other behind him. Volume 3, Book 27, Number 25, narrated by Ibn Umar. Whenever Allah's apostle left for Mecca, he used to pray in the mosque of Ash-Shajra, and when he returned to Medina, he used to pray in the middle of the valley of Dhul Hulayfa, and used to pass the night there till morning. Volume 3, Book 27, Number 26, narrated by Anas. The Prophet never returned to his family from a journey at night. He used to return either in the morning or in the afternoon. Volume 3, Book 27, Number 27, narrated by Jabir. The Prophet forbade going to one's family at night, on arrival from a journey. Volume 3, Book 27, Number 28, narrated by Humayd Anas said, "Whenever Allah's apostle returned from a journey, he, on seeing the high places of Medina, would make his she-camel proceed faster, and if it were another animal, even then he used to make it proceed faster." Narrated Humayd that the Prophet used to make it proceed faster out of his love for Medina. Volume 3, Book 27, Number 29, narrated by Anas as above, but mentioned the walls of Medina instead of the high places of Medina. Al-Harith bin Umar agrees with Anas. Volume 3, Book 27, Number 30, narrated by Abu Ishaq. I heard Al-Bara saying, "The above verse was revealed regarding us, for the Ansar on returning from Hajj never entered their houses through the proper doors but from behind. One of the Ansar came and entered through the door, and he was taunted for it. Therefore the following was revealed. It is not righteousness that you enter the houses from the back, but the righteous man is he who fears Allah, obeys his order and keeps away from what he has forbidden. So, enter houses through the proper doors." 2.189. Volume 3, Book 27, Number 31, narrated by Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, "Traveling is a kind of torture as it prevents one from eating, drinking, and sleeping properly. So, when one's needs are fulfilled, one should return quickly to one's family." Volume 3, Book 27, Number 32, narrated by Zayd bin Aslam from his father. I was with Ibn Umar on the way to Mecca, and he got the news that Safiya bint Abu Ubaid was seriously ill, so he hastened his pace, and when the twilight disappeared, he dismounted and offered the Maghrib and Isha prayers together. Then he said, I saw that whenever the Prophet had to hasten when traveling, he would delay the Maghrib prayer and join them together, that is, offer the Maghrib and the Isha prayers together. Volume 3, Book 28, Number 33, narrated by Nafi. When Abdullah bin Umar set out for Mecca intending to perform Umrah at the time of afflictions, he said, If I should be prevented from reaching the Kaaba, then I would do the same as Allah's Apostle did, so I assumed the Ihram for Umrah as Allah's Apostle assumed the Ihram for Umrah in the year of Hudaybiyah. Volume 3, Book 28, Number 34, narrated by Nafi, that Ubaidullah bin Abdullah and Salim bin Abdullah informed him that they told Ibn Umar when Ibn Az-Zubair was attacked by the army saying, There is no harm for you if you did not perform Hajj this year, we are afraid that you may be prevented from reaching the Kaaba. Ibn Umar said, We set out with Allah's Apostle and the non-believers of Quraysh prevented us from reaching the Kaaba, and so the Prophet slaughtered his hadi and got his head shaved. Ibn Umar added, I make you witnesses that I have made Umrah obligatory for me, and Allah willing I will go, and then if the way to Kaaba is clear I will perform the tawaf, but if I am prevented from going to the Kaaba then I will do the same as the Prophet did while I was in his company. Ibn Umar then assumed Ihram for Umrah from Dhul Hulayfa and proceeded for a while and said, The conditions of Umrah and Hajj are similar, and I make you witnesses that I have made Umrah and Hajj obligatory for myself. So, he did not finish the Ihram till the day of Nar, slaughtering, came, and he slaughtered his hadi. He used to say, I will not finish the Ihram till I perform the Tawaf, one Tawaf on the day of entering Mecca, that is of Safa and Marwa for both Umrah and Hajj. Volume 3, Book 28, Number 35, narrated by Nafi. Some of the sons of Abdullah told him, that is Abdullah, if he had stayed and not performed Hajj that year. Volume 3, Book 28, Number 36, narrated by Ibn Abbas. Allah's Apostle was prevented from performing Umrah. Therefore he shaved his head and had sexual relations with his wives and slaughtered his hadi and performed Umrah in the following year. Volume 3, Book 28, Number 37, narrated by Salim. Abdullah bin Umar used to say, Is not the following of the tradition of Allah's Apostle sufficient for you? If any one of you is prevented from performing Hajj, he should perform the Tawaf of the Kaaba and between As-Safa and Al-Marwa, and then finish the Ihram, and everything will become legal for him, which was illegal for him during the state of Ihram, and he can perform Hajj in a following year, and he should slaughter a hadi or fast in case he cannot afford the hadi. Volume 3, Book 28, Number 38, narrated by Al-Miswar. Allah's Apostle slaughtered the hadi before he had his head shaved, and then he ordered his companions to do the same. Volume 3, Book 28, Number 39, narrated by Nafi, that Abdullah and Salim said to Abdullah bin Umar, You should not go for Hajj this year. Abdullah bin Umar replied, We set out with the Prophet to Mecca for performing Umrah, and the infidels of Quraysh prevented us from reaching the Kaaba. Allah's Apostle slaughtered his budn, camels for sacrifice, and got his head shaved. Volume 3, Book 28, Number 40, narrated by Nafi. When Abdullah bin Umar set out for Mecca with the intentions performing Umrah in the period of afflictions, he said, If I should be prevented from reaching the Kaaba, then I would do the same as we did while in the company of Allah's Apostle. So he assumed the Ihram for Umrah since the Prophet had assumed the Ihram for Umrah in the year of Al-Hudaybiyah. Then Abdullah bin Umar thought about it and said, The conditions for both Hajj and Umrah are similar. He then turned towards his companions and said, The conditions of both Hajj and Umrah are similar, and I make you witnesses that I have made the performance of Hajj obligatory for myself, along with Umrah. He then performed one Tawaf between As-Safa and Al-Marwa for both of them, that is Hajj and Umrah, and considered that to be sufficient for him, and offered a hadi. Volume 3, Book 28, Number 41, narrated by Abdur Rahman bin Abu Layla. Ka'b bin Ujra said that Allah's Apostle said to him, Ka'b, perhaps your lice have troubled you. Ka'b replied, Yes, O Allah's Apostle. Allah's Apostle said, Have your head shaved and then either fast 3 days or feed 6 poor persons or slaughter 1 sheep as a sacrifice. Volume 3, Book 28, Number 42, narrated by Ka'b bin Umrah. Allah's Apostle stood beside me at Al-Hudaybiyah and the lice were falling from my head in great number. He asked me, Have your lice troubled you? I replied in the affirmative. He ordered me to get my head shaved. Ka'b added, This holy verse, and if any of you is ill, or has ailment in his scalp, 2.196 etc., was revealed regarding me. The Prophet then ordered me either to fast 3 days, or to feed 6 poor persons with 1 farak, 3 sahs of dates, or to slaughter a sheep, etc. sacrifice, whatever was available. Volume 3, Book 28, number 43, narrated by Abdullah bin Makal. I sat with Ka'b bin Ujra and asked him about the fidya. He replied, "This revelation was revealed concerning my case especially, but it is also for you in general. I was carried to Allah's apostle and the lice were falling in great number on my face. The Prophet said, 'I have never thought that your ailment or struggle has reached to such an extent as I see. Can you afford a sheep?' I replied in the negative. He then said, 'Fast for 3 days or feed 6 poor persons each with half a sah of food. 1 sah equals 3 kilograms approx. Volume 3, Book 28, number 44, narrated by Abdur Rahman bin Abu Layla, reporting the speech of Ka'b bin Umra. Allah's apostle saw him, that is Ka'b, while the lice were falling on his face. He asked him, 'Have your lice troubled you?' He replied in the affirmative. So he ordered him to get his head shaved while he was at Al-Hudaybiyah. At that time they were not permitted to finish their ihram, and were still hoping to enter Mecca. So Allah revealed the verses of Al-Fidya. Allah's apostle ordered him to feed 6 poor persons with 1 farak of food, or to slaughter 1 sheep as a sacrifice, or to fast for 3 days. Volume 3, Book 28, number 45, narrated by Abu Hurairah. Allah's apostle said, "Whoever performs Hajj to this house, Kaaba, and does not approach his wife for sexual relations nor commit sins while performing Hajj, he will come out as sinless as a newly born child, just delivered by his mother." Volume 3, Book 28, number 46, narrated by Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, "Whoever performs Hajj to this Kaaba and does not approach his wife for sexual relations nor commit sins while performing Hajj, he will come out as sinless as a newborn child, just delivered by his mother."